Welcome back to part 2 of cake decorating, and today I am going to be making a lemon cake with a lemon cream cheese icing, and it just happens to be gluten-free. We start with 3 cups of gluten-free flour, 2½ teaspoons of baking powder, ½ a teaspoon of baking soda, and ½ a teaspoon of salt, and mix well. Now that we have the dry ingredients mixed, we're going to go ahead and cream together the sugar and the butter, and we need to make sure that this is really combined well. Going to need to zest 2 lemons. So you use the smallest side, and you don't want to get down to the white part, you just want to get the yellow outside of it. If you could just smell this, I could smell this all day. I love lemon. 2 lemons with their zest will give you about 1 tablespoon, and that's what you need. Then after we did the lemon zest, we're going to cut them in half, and I roll them too, because when you roll them like this, you're actually producing more of the lemon juice, because all these little pulps down here, you're breaking them open. Now, I did not use my hand to catch it, so I'm just going to take out the seeds. The best way to do it is to use this. Then when you do it, it goes right down in there and it catches any of the seeds. And you don't have to worry about picking them out. Now we're just going to set this aside for later. And we're going to work on putting the flour in. We're going to turn this on and do it a little bit at a time so we don't make a mess. Now before I add the very last ingredients, I'm going to take the 9-inch pans, I'm going to take butter and wipe the sides, wipe the bottom, and make sure that it's coated everywhere. I just use a paper towel and some butter. And the reason you're doing this is so that the batter does not stick. Now we need to add a little bit of flour into the bottom of the pan. Now remember, this is made so that it can be gluten-free. So we need to make sure that we're using our gluten-free flour for this part as well. You just shake it around and even get the sides. And we're just going to put the excess on this towel. And it looks like that. And now we're ready. Let's start those other ingredients. Now that we have that all mixed up, we're going to add that into our pan. And you want to make sure that you do equal on. Alright, now the oven is heated up to 350 degrees. We're going to put these in for 25 minutes uncovered. Then after the 25 minutes is done, we're going to take foil, cover them up, and we're going to give them another 5 minutes or so until we check the center and make sure it's done. There's been 25 minutes that's passed. We're going to pull out one at a time. And now we're going to put the foil over it. I want to shut this so the temperature doesn't come down. All right, we're going to set it for additional 5 minutes with it covered. And the key to being able to cover it pretty easy is having the foil pre-cut and also pre-shaped. So all you have to do is put it on there and tighten it a little bit around the edges, and you can put it right back in. Five minutes have passed, so I want to check and see if this is done. We're going to take one out at a time. Yep, that one is done. Now, it did stick just a little bit, but I'm not even concerned about that because it still looks good. Let me bring the next one out. And that one is perfectly clean too. So they look really good. Now we just need to set them aside. Now that we've checked them and both of them are done, they look really good. We're going to let them set aside for 45 minutes. And even though it has a little bit that was taken off because of the foil being on there, it's no big deal. By the time we're done icing, you'll not even know. All right, we're going to make this icing nice and easy. I already have in the powdered sugar, and I have 3 3/4 cup. Then we're going to add in a stick of butter, an 8-ounce cream cheese, a teaspoon of vanilla, and the zest of 2 lemons. We're going to use the paddle, and we're going to start this off very, very slow. You don't want it going all over the place like that. Let's just start it slower. There we go. Nice and smooth. That's what you want. This is so good and creamy. And you can taste that lemon. With just putting that zest in there, you didn't even have to do any lemon juice. You just were able to put the zest and the flavors. Just as soon as you taste it, you're going to love this if you love lemon. So let's get started on icing and decorating this cake. Now, on part 1, I showed you how to do the bag, but I'm going to show you again. The idea is that this is going to go through the hole, but it's going to be snug and not go all the way through. So you got to check and see where you really need to mark this in order for the tip to come through. So we're going to start smaller first. And we're going to put our tip down in there. And this is what the tip looks like. Now you can see it doesn't go through, so we need to move that tip back down and take more off. We still need to do more because that whole thing needs to show. So just shove it back down and take more off. And that's perfect. Now we're going to fill this up. And this is what we're going to use to do the border. We're going to set that aside. Now we're going to put the first layer down. We're going to put the flat side to the top. Now I'm going to show you, instead of using the icing tip, we're going to just put this on. Just like that. Then this is an offset spatula. We're going to just move this around. Move your cake, turn it as you go. And don't press hard. Let the spatula do its job. There you go. Now we need to take the next one. And we're going to place that on top, just like that. You want to make sure that it's level and that there's no crumbs on the outside. We're going to do the same thing. And once again, we're going to let that spatula do its job. You gradually put it out to the edge as you go along. And the key to this is knowing how to turn it. You just take your time, be light-handed, because when you press too hard, that's when you have problems and it starts digging into the cake. All right, this is what's called an icing tip. There's a serrated side, then there's a flat side. We're going to work with the flat side being on the outside and the serrated on the inside. You can use this, but that's for future teaching. Right now, we're going to stick to the basics. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the bottom. We're going to just let it rest on the plate. And I'm going to turn it and just let it gradually come out. I'm not going to squeeze it hard. I don't want a lot coming out. I just let it go as it goes. Just gradually let it come out. And you see how there's a spot? That is no big deal. Do not worry about that. This is not about being perfect on this. It's about getting the icing on and making it much easier on yourself. Then on the top layer, you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to basically fill it in as if you were coloring. Now you can see that it's on there kind of rough, but the point is to get it covered without taking any crumbs off or having any issues. We're going to use the same offset spatula. We're going to hold it straight up and down, and we're going to let it do its job. You go part of the way, you have to wipe off the excess that's on your spatula. You go back onto itself, and you turn the plate, take it off, go to the next one, come back over itself. Just go easy, and you can always go back over like that. Just keep it straight and let the spatula do its job. And remember, this is for you and your family. This isn't a wedding cake that you have to worry about everything being so perfect. Remember, part of the charm is showing that it's homemade. And we just keep turning it until we get it all done, like that. Now, we're going to show you the top. All right, I see here that I missed a spot, so I'm just going to go back very lightly, light-handed, and I'm just going to go over it like that, and there we go. Now see here where some of it is up above the top? What you do is you make sure that your spatula is clean too. Don't go back on there with having a bunch of icing on it. You're going to take it and you're going to gradually bring it in all the way around and wipe it off each time. And like I said, I am being very, very light-handed. I'm letting the spatula do the work, and I'm just guiding it. You just keep rotating it around. And as you go along, you're going to get much more comfortable with this. And then your hands are going to move freely. Now, I want to show you an easy border. When you're doing just a decorative cake like this, what I would recommend is the very center to do a rosette, just like that, and it finishes off the whole cake. As you can see, it looks like a flower. You can easily put a couple petals on there to make it a flower. I'm going to do a shell border. I lay it down, I squeeze, let go, and release and pull back. Squeeze, release, and pull back. And we're going to do this around the whole cake. And the key is making sure you're going right into the next one when you're pushing, so that it's a complete border. And if it messes up like that, you just fix it. Icing is very, very forgiving. Now you've learned a couple more decorating tips in this part 2 video, and I'll be doing a third one as well to show you a rose and some other things that are a little more detailed. But who wouldn't love a beautiful cake like this if you took it over to your neighbor or you had guests over? Very simple, delicious. And I'm going to cut it so you can see. Another thing you can do is do some more of the lemon zest and sprinkle that on the top. You can see it in the icing, but if you put it on top, they're going to know what this cake is. Even a little wedge of lemon right in the center would make this go over the top. Oh my goodness. Look at the crumb on that and how beautiful it is. Let's give this a taste. And if you're worried about that little piece that's in there, kind of like I would be, you just clean that up. And look at that. Beautiful. Now let's taste this. Very moist. It's got a nice zippy lemon flavor to it. And sometimes people don't like gluten-free because they think that it's dry or tasteless. This cake is very good. And all your friends who need to make sure that they're gluten-free, surprise them with this and make cupcakes out of it as well. Thumbs up.